Welcome to the Anything Goes podcast. Told you Random Girl was going to be back.
Feel the glow.
I'm Kombat AllStar Random Girl. Yeah, not Naomi's glow.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about Glow. If you guys didn't know, Netflix released a trailer. Basically, they're going to be doing a movie about Glow. I don't know what you call it again. It's not a documentary. It's like a
it's kind of what I know for them to call is kind of like a docudrama. So it's like a documentary, but they have actors and actresses play them. So it's like a documentary plus a movie at the same time. So it's like a docudrama.
Right, like they did with Ali, for example.
Yeah.
So first off, I don't know. When I saw it, you want to get your opinions on it first, or
you can go comment.
Okay, so when I first saw it, I was like, this doesn't need to happen.
I felt the same way too.
I saw the documentary and I was like, the documentary is great. We don't need to know all the dirty details or get all kinds of weird drama that they like to put into stuff like this. So I was like, it doesn't need to happen. But then on one hand, it's like, people need to know about Glow. It's funny because I talk to my wrestling buddies and, most people know about Glow, but they're like the real wrestling crowd. You know what I mean? Like you and me, they're not like the typical people. So maybe this is a good thing for people to take a look in and see. So I don't know. What do you think?
Kind of like ECW. You get what I mean? I feel like you were a true hardcore fan if you watched ECW back in the day.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, because it wasn't it wasn't as was it as big as WWF?
It wasn't as. Well, actually, yes, because there was some cross promotional things. Paul Heyman came on there, showed some people, so they kind of helped each other out. Sure, it got to be as big as WWE. Yeah. What do you think about the trailer?
I love the trailer, but I feel like you have to talk about the documentary first before you mention the trailer for Glow.
So if you and you're right. This
because I knew nothing about Glow.
Right, but the podcast is about the trailer, the Netflix trailer that came out. But if you guys didn't know already, Netflix already does have a documentary that came out in 2012 about Glow. So if you guys aren't familiar with Glow, go and check it out. It's a great documentary. It interviews a lot of the women, not even most of them, but a few of them. Yeah, and it's a great documentary. Talk about Mount Fuji and what's that Russian girl's name? Nicolata?
Oh, we should have had like a tablet set up to mention all their names. I can't remember any of them.
Nicolata, Little Egypt,
Mount Fiji, Big Bad Mama.
Yeah, Big Bad Mama.
And then there was the farmer's daughter, Babe, the farmer's daughter.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them. And it was Little Fiji, right?
Yeah, it was Little Fiji too.
Yeah.
Man, Ivory. Who was Ivory? She was.
Dang it! I can't
Lisa
remember.
Ferrari?
Yeah.
Tina Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, man, those girls, they killed it. They were,
killed it.
little background story on Glow, and you can kind of tell it too, because you.
What is, I can't remember because it's a little late, but it's called
Gorgeous
Ladies of Wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. I fell in love with it the first time. Kombat decided to put it on Netflix because he was telling me, he was like, oh man, there's this thing called Glow. And I thought he was talking about another
Shimmer.
Wrestling. Shimmer, yeah.
I was talking about Shimmer.
Because I know it's an all-women independent thing, so that's what I thought. But he was talking about it. He was like, no, it's Glow. They're around the 80s. I was like, of course I want to freaking see this, man. I didn't know. So, I watched it. I didn't know what to expect. I watched it and fell in love with it instantly because all the women were diverse. First of all, I'm not going to tell you guys all of it, but in the beginning they had two freaking big girls, which bought me that instant. It was
Matilda the Hun.
Yeah, it was Mount Fuji.
Mount Fuji.
Mount Fiji, right? Fiji. It's Fiji.
Fiji?
Yeah.
Mount Fiji? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Fuji, but you could be right. Yeah, you're probably right.
Mount Fiji. And so I was like, dude, two big girls, they never show this on TV ever with women, so I instantly fell in love from then on. It's a great documentary. You guys are going to love it.
Yeah, Little Egypt, she was awesome. She helped, after the documentary, all the girls kind of met for the first time in 15 years.
Because they hadn't met in 15 years.
Yeah, so she put together a little reunion. It was awesome, so...
Yeah.
Those girls can go.
Great wrestling. Love of wrestling. Oh my gosh, the things that they were doing were like the men. Like they had like guns on set. They had freaking buzzsaws and freaking
chainsaw.
God. It was like girls were allowed to do
Okay, first of all, let's talk about who they were trained by Mondo Guerrero.
Yeah.
Mando Guerrero.
Father, the descendant, father of Chavo Guerrero. They said
one of because everybody knows Gory had like 5 kids, I think.
Yeah, and they each had their.
So Hector, Mando, like they were trained by somebody good, wrestling dynasty wrestling. So these girls could wrestle, and they all had different looks. They all weren't like the pretty.
Cheerleader look,
There was a cheerleader
to play with. Yeah, but she was supposed to be the cheerleader, but they didn't all look like cheerleaders.
But what's her name? Susie?
So they had bigger women, they had the strong women with muscles, they had the curvy women. So there was a selection for everyone. It was diversity, and that's what I feel like. Well, that's what kept it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I wish it would have continued. It sucks at the behind the scenes politics, of what happens. Yeah. But it was like when the documentary first starts, it's like it was stopped at the height of its popularity. It was like, what? Why? And you find out why. We're not gonna ruin that for you guys. Go watch the documentary.
My thing is, I bet I'm happy that it happened at least for that prompt time, rather than it not happening at all. Right. They had that time. You know what I mean? No one can take that away from them.
Exactly. Yeah. At the time, women wrestling.
It made me tear up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did like the show. And
it happened at a time where women's wrestling wasn't really taken seriously.
No, it wasn't. Even Matilda the Hun, she was saying, when back wrestling in that day, they even made her wrestle a bear, and they were saying basically if your woman wants to join wrestling, what is it you consider unattractive or what was it? It was unpopular.
Yeah, you were like a circus freak or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But she, dang man, you cut me off so many times during the show.
Crap. I'm sorry, Combat.
It's okay. But yeah, there was a guy talking about how like midgets and women wrestling would bring in crowds because it was like a freak show, and then it would draw them to the real wrestling stuff. So that's the Glow came about at that time. Yeah. So
and they were everywhere. Everybody loved them. They were in a lot of talk shows with Sally, Joan Rivers, with them Married with Children. A lot of a lot of like daily shows.
Yeah, they were big in the 80s. They were very big in the 80s. And I want to say a lot had to do with it about wrestling being big in general. So of course they're going to blow with the rest of the industry. But man, they were doing something that no one was doing, so.
They added sex appeal, but not too much where they weren't taken seriously. They added diversity, we were rapping.
Yeah, they were real women. They were real women. Like they said,
curves, everything.
They were just like, not even that, but like personality. It was like they were just themselves turned up a bunch of times. Like it wasn't an attitude era. So they were doing stuff even before WWE was doing it.
Oh, for sure.
But they were like real people. They weren't like this, like Lana, how she's coming out dancing. I feel like that's not a real person. It's just an archetype. It's like, who wants to see another pretty woman dancing around? And it's like they did it with Emelina. It's just
to be honest, that's old and done with. Like there's so many pretty girls out there. What are you gonna do? There's more than just a pretty face. Come on now. Yeah. Like stop selling that over and over and over again. And that's what I liked about Glow.
Yeah.
It was very different. And it showed that you could be sexy, you could be unique without being the overly sexy girl. You get what I mean?
Right.
That's boring.
Exactly. It is boring and it's stale. It sours after time. It doesn't. No one that was like that has any kind of staying power except for maybe Sunny because she was the first diva. But I mean, all the women that I remember from back in the day, I grew up watching. I remember Jazz. Like she's one of the biggest prominent memories of my. And then I remember Jackie. I remember Lita. Like the girls that weren't necessarily the pretty women, but the ones that could go and stood out to me were the girls like that. Yeah,
and during that time, it actually could. Well, I'm glad they didn't do that. But during the '80s, that's when they had the big boobs and then the bod and all that. So that's when that was like popular. You get what I mean? Just talking about a lot of now, it's 2017. Like we don't, especially with the women's revolution, we don't want to keep seeing that over and over again. Right. You get what I mean? Yeah. I feel like women are evolving, especially as athletes. So I'm getting tired of seeing that crap.
Exactly. I mean, what's funny? I'm so glad that Awesome Kong is in the actual.
Movie. Yeah, she was in there. Yeah, so let's talk about the movie. We just talked about the documentary.
Yeah, so she plays Big Bad Mama, and it's funny because like I watched the documentary when it came out in 2012. Then
you didn't tell me.
I did tell you. You seem like you didn't care.
You watched in 2012.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I watched it a long time ago, and I told Random Girl about it. She was like,
"You ain't tell me."
And then tonight I talked about it. I was like, yeah, I'm trying. I was casually talking to her about Glow, and she had no idea what I was talking about. And I was like, I watched it before. I thought you watched it with me.
And 12. Oh.
I watched it before. You know,
Okay.
It's
whatever you told me.
anyway.
Right.
My point is, even though I had watched it before when it came out, I watched it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then right after I watched the documentary again, after I watched the documentary, I immediately watched the trailer.
Yeah.
So I could more easily recognize all the people that were in the show.
Which is what you should do.
Right. So and in the documentary, Aubrey said that Ashley was her tag team partner. She just went by Ashley.
The housewives. We didn't mention them. Anyway, okay.
We'll get to my turn done.
Right.
So Ashley was her tag partner, and she said that Ashley, that's not her real name. That's just her wrestling name.
Yeah.
But she did. She said she did auditions 5-6 auditions a day, and that was just kind of her life. So when I saw the actual trailer, I was like, that has to be Ashley because she was going through the interviews and doing the auditions and everything. And then she got to Glow. So I'm thinking
that main character is Ashley.
The main character is Ashley, I'm thinking. Or it could be Little Egypt because she's really involved in stuff now.
Yeah.
As far as Glow goes and all that.
It kind of looked like her too.
Right. So I'm guessing the main character is going to be Little Egypt or Ashley.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That's a good guess.
Yeah. So what were you going to say about Chainsaw and Spike?
No. I'm just saying when you watch the documentary, make sure you zoom your eyes in on the two girls, the tag team called the Housewives. They were hilarious.
Yeah, they started off as the Housewives, and then they ended up as like this kiss tag team, which was weird. And the Housewives weren't like sexy; they were like curlers in their hair.
It was so awesome.
And they had like
that's how we are in real life. That's how they are.
Yeah, they had like the little makeup thing. You know how you put the cucumber in your eye and you have a little. They had the cucumber, but they were out there and like, oh, this rope's too high.
Yeah.
And they're all hussies. It was great.
Yeah.
And then they come out later, a couple of years later with chainsaws and
I thought
looking
that
like
was
Kiss.
brilliant because when I first saw the title Housewives, I was like, okay, typical sexy, bored housewives just looking for trouble. And I was like, no, we didn't want to be sexy. We wanted something else. So I was like, dude, that was freaking brilliant.
They dressed like bags. They
had robes and freaking hair.
Duffel bags. Oh, it looked awful.
It was great.
It was great. The nightgowns looked like they were from the 1930s or something like that when they came out.
They're like 1950 housewives. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So, did you tell when they were beating with the pan?
No. There was a spot in the wrestling match where one of the housewives had a frying pan. I don't know where she got it from, but she was spanking the girl and it was like a hussy and grabbing her by her little booty shorts.
He's like, who are these painted up hussies?
Yeah.
It was hilarious. It was genius.
And then like they stumbled and fell because like the characters weren't supposed to be able to wrestle.
Oh yeah.
It was
genius. And a lot of these women, they were the producers and things gave them the character, or the directors gave them the character, but they would change them up and make it more fit them, which I thought was cool too.
Yeah, over time they changed things up and got different wardrobe and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So it was good stuff.
They were allowed to. I don't like that too, especially as women. A lot of times you're not awarded that privilege, but they were allowed to play with their characters, which I thought was awesome.
And I have to believe because they didn't have a lot of money. And they were just like, well, we don't,
It's just fun because they thought it wasn't going to last.
Because at that time, WWE, they were WWF during the 80s and Hulk Hogan and all that. And it was some great stuff, but those guys didn't have control of their characters like that. So, I mean,
like brand new.
But, it was, the writing was better, the intensity was better. So those guys always made what they had work, so it worked. But with these girls, it was like, Vince didn't do that till the Attitude Era where they gave the wrestlers control of their characters. And these girls were doing that before then, like 10 years before that.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's like, they were before their time. They were ahead of their time doing that stuff.
They're saying like a lot of male wrestlers were jealous too.
Oh, yeah. Because they were getting on TV shows like Married with Children.
Yeah, no, especially in some men are just like that, especially during that time. They didn't consider women to be equal. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, of course, they got intimidated by that. Women wrestlers, yeah.
Yeah, so... Man, it was awesome. I'm not okay, like what you were saying, Orange is the New Black director is directing it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily okay with that because I did see some things in the trailer about coke and a little bit of sex. And it's like, I have such an awesome image of all the women that were a part of Glow. And I have a lot of favorites. And I don't want to see them painted in a negative light.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, finish Kombat because I'm going to say...
No, go ahead.
I respect what you say, and then I'll say what I have to say.
Yeah. So I don't want to see them in a negative light. It's like you can have a mockumentary or whatever you want to call it without making it, not... Because I feel like they don't put that stuff in there to be truthful about what happened, but to spike up ratings and to get people interested to draw people in. And I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I saw the director of Orange is the New Black, I was like, oh Lord, because I actually stopped watching because it became too much sex, and they actually interviewed the actual people, who went to jail. What am I trying to say? Not the actor and actresses, but the person that really involved in the story of...
Right.
Yeah. And they said it didn't happen like this at all. You get what I mean?
Right.
And so I was a little bit worried of that. I was just, okay, over sex and the drugs and all that. So just like, the thing is, you don't really know what they did. Maybe they were a little wild. So I'm just like, as long as, the actual wrestlers are okay with that movie, then, of course I'm okay.
Right.
They were great wrestlers. Maybe their lives were a little wild. You don't know. As long as the wrestlers are like, okay, yeah, this is accurate. I like the movie. Don't cheap it.
Yeah,
just to get viewers.
Don't cheapen it for Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just tell the story.
Exactly.
So, I love this. So you have anything else to say? Because I was going to end the
freaking
podcast.
Glow was awesome, and I just want posters of all the ladies.
Yeah,
they rock.
They all were awesome. Give me a Mount Fiji poster.
I'm like, Natalia who?
What? Yeah. What? On Nicoletta, I like her too. What do you guys have you seen?
Dude, they were awesome.
We put I have a link to the trailer for the new Netflix show in the description below. Let us know what you guys think of the trailer. If you never heard of Glow, go watch the documentary.
Dude and ladies, y'all need to check it out. Like,
yes.
Seriously, you need to check it out.
And like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends, mom and them.
Pat out.
Until next time.
Have a good night.
So long.